workloads going up, police numbers going down, and police support staff numbers going down too. And the HMIC reports that neighbourhood policing is suffering. You cannot cull 35,000 posts from the police service and seek to maintain protection of the public without there being an impact. And the obvious impact is that it puts the public at risk. We need more resources to protect neighbourhood policing, not less. The HMIC also recognises that neighbourhood policing is, as my honourable friend said, the cornerstone of crime prevention. And that's something that the frontline police service has been telling the government for years. It enables officers to serve the public, remain vigilant to threats, the most accurate intelligence on terrorism, and gain crucial local to global intelligence, whether that's used in the fight against terror or child sexual exploitation. But looking specifically at the picture in Wales, we have a really concerning picture developing. Last week, the HMIC concluded in its report that Dyfed-Powys Police could do more to keep people safe and reduce crime. Its report on police effectiveness found that the approach to investigating crimes and supporting the vulnerable and victims required improvement. It also highlighted Dyfed-Powys' allocation of complex crimes, sexual offences and high-risk domestic abuse to officers without adequate training. And across Wales, we've seen a reduction of 783 police officers and even more support staff. Those cuts are the equivalent to wiping off the face of the map the 3/4 of the entire Gwent police force. Police are now going back into offices to do administrative work. This work has to be done, it can't be ignored, and it's crucial to how policing work. But police officers need to be on the streets. They need to be on the streets building trust and relationships with local communities. In Wales, the Welsh Government has created 500 PCSOs, not to replace policing, but to backfill the gaps left by the 20% cuts imposed by the benches opposite to policing since 2010. HMIC stated cuts should not be more than 12%, but this has been ignored by the previous coalition and the current government. The Police Minister has said that Chief Constables and Police and Crime Commissioners have no excuse whatsoever not to deliver at least good quality policing in their areas. But I think they've got every excuse given the cuts to their budgets. South Wales Police in my area will have a cut of nearly £3.5 million in real terms cash in its budget for 2016-17 compared to last year. The police are now spread so thinly, they're struggling to act as eyes and ears on our streets. It undermines the ability for them to do their job at the same time that the Home Secretary is talking about risks to national security when we have a threat from terrorism at an extreme level. There is... Of course I'll give way.
Extremely grateful. I agree with her that these threats are multiplying. The Home Secretary suggested earlier that crime was down and all was well. She seems to have overlooked the fact that violent crime is actually rising. And in some parts of the country, Birmingham, for example, gun crime is rampant. Don't you think that's the wrong time to be cutting special resources for policing?
My honourable friend is absolutely right. Knife crime in Cardiff has gone up again this year, and we saw the figures released last week. So we have a situation where the police are now spread so thinly, they can't do their job. We have a risk, talk about risks and threats to national security and efforts to counter the threat we face from terrorism at a time when we need more police, not less. And there is only one thing that you get for less, and that is less.
Drew me.